Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to Wrestle Purist, where we're doing our pre-Dynamite show, where we're just here to see an AEW Dynamite tonight, and we're going to talk a little bit of news, even though there hasn't been too much crazy, except for Goldberg, man. Goldberg's been released. Obviously, we spoke about it on Monday briefly because the news broke while we was going live, and obviously, since then, it seems like our guy Tony Khan might be interested, judging from his comments and stuff like that. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into all this. But first things first, obviously, please like, subscribe, super chat if you're feeling generous. Always much appreciated. And man, we're joined today by myself, of course. Big AO, one of the big stars on the channel. We've got Joe Hulbert. Got Joe Hulbert, the one of the only good Brits, and we have Jamie Ross, his first time on anything but Dungo Live, I think, the Tuesday show. But yeah, he's our resident scout, our head writer at Wrestle Purist. You know, he's bringing a bit of personality to the show. But yeah, man, I'm going to start with Jamie.
Somebody say Joe's the only good Brit, but you know, it's not. Wait, Jamie, you're Welsh, right? Where are you from?
I'm from Liverpool.
Okay.
Yeah,
there's two good Brits. You got two good Brits.
Okay. But yeah, man, I'll start with Jamie. I'll start with Jamie. Jamie, how you doing? How's it feel to be on the main roster?
Yeah, I'm good. You know, I'm fired up for Dynamite. We got there's obviously one big match that everyone's looking forward to.
Yes.
And yeah,
that's Stokely Hathaway versus Hook, baby. Let's draw some money.
You know, we play to a slightly smaller but a loyal crowd on Dumb Guy Live. But you know, excited to be here on the Wednesday pre-Dynamite podcast. And
yeah,
fired
man.
Up.
Got Jamie. He's got his colourful setup, always changing lights. You know, don't get worried if you're watching this for the first time. You know,
that's called
it's all
ambiance.
intentional.
Nigga, that's called ambiance. Don't say Jamie don't know how to set the mood. Now, don't ever say Jamie can't set the mood.
Big in the game, bro. Big in the game.
All right.
Talking to big in the game. Big AO. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I had a nightmare. That these two fucking freaks, bro, Dax Harwood and CM Punk, was just twerking on Instagram, twerking on podcasts, twerking on the timeline, trying to do this whole trying to do this whole babyface shtick again. Like they're not violent felons that should be locked up, bro. Dax, I know shit about you. That if they should leak, bro, you're going to jail. All right, that's all. I'm not gonna really get into it. Shout out to the Pro Wrestling Podcast in the comments right now, bro. That's where fucking Punk always runs and does his little babyface gimmick at. Shout out to the homie.
Shout out to Pro Wrestling Podcast. $1.99 super chat. The British are coming. Yeah, man, we're here. But yeah, obviously, CM Punk seems to you seem to be his favorite Instagram account, bro. Anytime that he has a slight message he wants to get out, however subtle or overt it may be, he seems to go to that page and leave a comment on something. So,
you know the nastiest part? Punk refuses to follow him, bro. I asked, he was in a space with us, like, I think it was before the Rumble, and I asked him, I was like, does Punk even follow you? He was like, no, he never has. So Punk, stop being a freak. Oh, I mean, you're never gonna stop being a freak. That's just your brand at this point. But you know, just give our man a follow at least. Come on.
Yeah, man. We'll probably glance over the Punk stuff, you know what I mean, just so people know what's going on if you're not caught up. But yeah, man. Obviously, finally, Joe Hulbert, the veteran. How you doing?
I'd like to say I'm good, but unfortunately, the person who booked the stream showed up 10 minutes late. So you know, we here as the expert analysts of the program just had to talk amongst ourselves. You know, burn through segments. You know, the usual thing. But other than that, gross unprofessionalism. I'm very well. Excited for Dynamite. Good time.
It happens, bro. You know, it happens.
I'm just saying. I saw a bit in the chat, you know, suspecting who was the culprit. So I thought I'd make it clear it was our fearless leader, Montgomery, again, fouling us at the finish line. So, but nonetheless,
throwing me out to the wolves, man.
Look, man, I ain't taking the bullet.
Doesn't happen on Tuesdays, man.
I've heard that.
Tuesdays are punctual, bro. Tuesdays are
live.
The only show Monty's not on, almost.
Listen, Parker knows how to run a tight ship, you know. It's what he does.
He's the actual pro, right? Really?
Yeah.
The actual pro.
Yeah. Real credentials, etc., etc. You know. But yeah, man, let's get into Goldberg. Let's talk Goldberg. It's happening, isn't it? It's happening, bro.
Yeah, man.
Goldberg, there's no way. We talked about it on Monday before we heard like what Tony had to actually say about it, and it's not like Tony blatantly said like I'm signing him, you know. But you know, he's obviously a big fan, and we was like I was about to say on Monday, we was even saying like you know Tony might not be able to help himself. Big WCW guy, you know, he was a big fan of the Goldberg streak, etc., etc. And yeah, he went on a podcast. If anyone remembers in the chat exactly what podcast it was or where he was doing the interview, my bad though, whoever's it was. Yeah, he just basically was like, you know, he's one of the household names in pro wrestling, and it's interesting to hear that he's a free agent, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on that, and etc. etc. And it's like, all right, man.
So it came out today that Goldberg's been a free agent since January. TK probably found out, like, if not right when it happened, like about in January, right?
Found out.
Is that why they binged that industry plant Wardlow Goldberg chant? Is that why they binged? Is that why they don't do that no more?
Maybe Goldberg watched the TV show and was like, ain't happening.
If I'm gonna join the territory, this gotta go, brother.
Goldberg in AEW, man. I really think it is happening at this point. You know,
that's so nasty.
It's
a really weird one.
It's always really important to not get too carried away with certain stuff. So as of today, the 22nd of March, I'm pretty confident that it looks like it's going to happen. But I think if anything, the Mercedes deal taught us. You know, people were up and down and certain, and then certain the other way, and it was just
man. Some people was 100% sure.
Can confirm. Sorry to say that I can
Some
confirm
people were 100% sure.
This is what I'm saying, bro. So, like I said, as of today, I think we can see I can see that happening, man. I don't know what he does though. Like,
well,
there's definitely stuff for him to do, but I just don't know what.
He's interested in doing a proper. I'm gonna just be like very. I don't know what that means in his mind, but he wants the real retirement match. Basically, is what he's suggested. I think Tony would be intrigued by doing that on like TNT because Tony is a fucking nerd and that pops him. You know, like I get that appeal. In terms of the matchup, I have no clue. I do think there is, you know, in terms of retirement matches, when Sting's one comes around, if he's gonna do like an all-star multi-man. Goldberg being on Sting's team would be pretty neat, right? That'd be a pretty cool deal. So that would be the one I would look at. I say on the same team because if they are on opposite teams, he could legitimately kill Sting. I don't say that lightly. Like Sting is too old to be taking fucking spears and jackhammers from Bill Goldberg. It's his life.
For fucking Goldberg, bro.
Yeah, but I think like there's stuff you can do. Obviously, it has to be very restrained. You know, if you bring him in for like anything even resembling a title program, people are going to be very mad, and understandably so. So you have to use him in a very particular way. But I think there's some room for it, I guess.
Look, man. I think from everything we've heard, Goldberg's too big of a mark to take a multi-man match to end his career on. He's gonna want a singles match. You gotta throw him in there with somebody who knows what they're doing. Like you can't we're building towards the future. Like you can't put him in there with fucking Hook, bro, or like Wardlow or something. Like it's got to be Ken Omega or somebody like that. Like it's got to be like or maybe even Darby, son. Like
Big Ken. Oh, the sound of that, to be honest.
It's gotta be Ken, bro. That's a big pay-per-view match that you could do. Keep Kenny away from the title picture if that's not what you want to do right now. I think everybody would be happy. Elite fans would be happy. You know, Goldberg fans would be happy for the most part.
That graphic,
draw some money.
That would be actually that graphic would be an all-time AEW moment.
Yeah, all-time TK moment. Jamie, you ready for Goldberg in Jacksonville?
Oh yes. We on the podcast last night. Someone brought up the idea of him going to Noah, and I was like, "Oh yes." Can you just imagine him? Can you imagine him working like Fujita for the GHC?
That's how he goes out in Japan.
Fujita wouldn't part with his shit, bro. No, that's fight out there, man.
Muto's gonna say, "I got one more left in me, brother." time to work on Bill. It's time to work on Bill.
Yeah, but for a while, I think I've brought the idea up to Monty a few times. Like, I like the idea of him, of like Bron Breakker retiring him, but obviously that's now not going to happen.
Yeah, you were strong on that.
but-
You won me over big with that one. You know.
Yeah, but in terms
yeah.
of AEW, like you say, Kenny Omega, he'd have a good match with anyone, and that just for the graphic, like, yeah, that's something we got to make happen. But
I
don't
know
know
I
in
got
terms of
like
the-
I got my like
the
my
match.
anti Braun Breaker bits and shit, but like even looking at it objectively, I feel like that's setting him up for failure, bro. Like I don't think that match goes well at all, man. Unless they like practice it for a month straight, like every single step is like
I don't know, man. It could be like beautifully disastrous, or you know, or there's two meatheads just fucking, you know, whacking into Bobby Lashley. I think
his last match was on the Roman squash, I think.
all that.
I'm just trying to get a figure, like try to figure out how much because when he first came back, obviously Goldberg has always been limited, but it did feel like naturally as his return run went on, the limitations increased, right? Like more and more. Like I remember the one he threw.
He almost killed Lashley, bro, at SummerSlam. Almost broke his neck.
Yeah. And the
It's
reason
been over a year since he's wrestled now as well.
Yeah, so that's where like I think I might write about a Braun match. As much as I like the idea, I do think that thing could fall apart, even if it's really short. The other thing is we're all throwing matches out there from an AEW where it's like, yeah, he could put a guy over. And it's like, is that something he wants to do? Like genuinely, is that something he's interested in doing? I don't know. I mean, you could come up with a million guys who would benefit from beating Goldberg, but if he wants to actually lose to him, is a very different matter. And I think his ideal retirement match is him fucking killing the guy the way he killed Dolph at SummerSlam a couple years back. It's like you could find someone to do that for him. Like he could do that to like I don't know. He could like I think you could easily do something to like a QT, right? Who's like a comedy heel. But for what, you know?
Yeah, like would the ROI even be worth it at that point?
I'd give him like 4 matches.
Right.
And three of them are squashes against the likes of QT, etc. People who are just like, then he puts someone over.
Bro, nothing Goldberg does is cheap or for the love of the game, bro. Like he came back for that. He came back for that limited run, and he was still like top 3 earners on the entire roster, bro. Like he was up there with Roman and Lesnar. So like it's not like you could just TK's like, all right, man, he goes $3 million.
Right.
Get a good one out of QT Marshall, bro. Like it's not. It would be.
The other question on that front is like, because I've seen at times he's done like a good quarter hour for WWE or whatever. I've seen that's happen on occasion.
Yeah.
Like the audience that's interested in Goldberg does not strike me as an audience that's like, I might check out AEW Dynamite, you know, like
TNT, bro.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if
they remember. They remember.
I would love for that to be the case, but I just don't know.
They all remember, bro.
I feel like people that are into Goldberg are not even aware of AEW, let alone intending to watch it. Would be my guess. Because I don't see. I mean, I'm like a prominent Bill Goldberg supporter on the internet, just based on the fact that no one else even likes him. You know, like we did a Grin Grappler about Goldberg, and most of the response was like, "Why?" You know, but so there's a lot of pushback. So that would be an interesting thing too. Is like, does the audience want to see him at all? I don't know. I think they'll pop, but then beyond that initial pop, I don't know.
I mean, I'll do it.
Yeah, hey, man. If he comes out one match comes out, gets the mic, says you're next to the best bout machine. Now we could draw some money here, man.
This is what I'm saying. He murders people, and after the 3rd murder, he gets on that mic and he says, "Whoever it is, you know, you're next. You know, bring back the memories. It's a nostalgic run, you know." And then he ends with him putting over.
This is the real question. He's like, who? I said Hobbs
Powerhouse.
on Monday. Yeah, that's where I went on Monday.
When I did the news post for it, we pointed out that since 2018, he's put over a few people. To be fair, well, a handful.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's completely like out of the question. But just it just depends on like who he actually like respects in the AEW locker room. You know what I mean? It's like the Brock thing.
Yeah, it's a lot like the Brock thing because it's like I'd imagine a guy like Goldberg sees it as very different being asked by Vince to put over Drew McIntyre, for example, compared to like he would see Tony differently. Like he just would, you know.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Who
I
in
mean, even-
AEW has like that name value though? You think?
What do you mean? In what sense?
Like, who's someone that Goldberg or Brock wouldn't screw the face up at?
I mean, you know the
I know
Like, who's
Brock.
on that? Who's on that list?
I know
you
Brock likes Kenny a lot. I don't know if Goldberg ever heard of him before.
right. I think everyone in the industry respects Brian, right?
Yeah, there's also Danielson.
Yeah.
He's ex-WWE. Like, I'm talking like someone who it's worth
Goldberg
doing.
and Samoa Joe.
You know?
Now look,
That could
Samoa
be
Joe
an
fan.
absolute disaster, bro.
That could be.
I love Joe. I love his 2023 second half of 2022. But that could. Oh my god.
But imagine. I agree with you. I agree. I concede. But imagine the graphic. See it in your mind. Think about it for it. It may be worth rolling the dice, brother.
Hey man, the vibes would be immaculate. Would I want to see Goldberg try to get Joe up for a jackhammer? I don't know, man.
I don't think Joe wants to see that either.
Or even Joe. No, Goldberg's not that big. I was gonna say Joe trying to get Goldberg up for a muscle buster, but Goldberg's not that big.
The only thing is, Joe is like I think smart enough to come up with like a 3-minute fucking absolute like crazy sprint with him that they could probably both survive. I think.
Yeah, but it's like, can their bodies allow them to do what Joe would have in his
Only one
head?
way to find out.
You know, it's like the Suzuki match, bro. I think he done that to himself in a Suzuki match. Like, he had this match in his head, and when he got out there and he threw the first 40 chops, and his gas tank was a little low, he realised that he was in there for a war. You know,
I'm not even sure that was like. I genuinely think Suzuki just set that pace, and he was like, "Well, fuck, here we are." You know, like I'm too deep in now, I've got to swim. Like, here we go. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's not many obvious names because Goldberg is like he would be such an outlier in the promotion. It's obvious.
I need Samoa Joe back wrestling regularly, man. You know, like, I miss seeing him like absolutely.
He's wrestling cheeseburger tomorrow.
Yeah, but it's a squash. It's gonna be a squash, bro. Like, I miss when he first came in. You know when TK first came in, and TK was just like booking him in matches because you could tell that he was just hyped he got Joe, you know. But like, at the end of every match, Joe was just absolutely fucked.
Real
Craps. Bright red, sweaty.
Manny pointed out to me, and he's right. After every match, like he'll do the pin. And the referee, you know, ringing for the bell, whole deal, and Joe just look up.
Yeah. Thank God, so I survived another one. I made it through another one.
Oh man, he's the best.
Do we know what Joe's doing at Supercard of Honor yet? I don't remember.
We do. He's just Mark Briscoe.
He's gonna
give
wait for that.
Everything he's
Can't
got.
wait.
Gonna go into that match for sure. You know, he'll leave it all in there for that one.
Yeah,
rolling back the clock for that one, bro.
That's gonna be great.
He's training at Big Bear for that one.
Well, he's not getting carried away.
He's in the Appalachian Mountains getting his lungs up right now for that match.
Get ready, bro.
Supercard looks really good, but the top end of it looks really exciting. Really exciting. So that'd be a good time.
I'm fired up for it, bro. I'm fired up for it. I keep kind of almost forgetting about, not forgetting about, that's not the right word, but there's so much other stuff going on, you know. It kind of like falls to the wayside a little bit. But when I remember like the shit that's going on that night, you know, all in the name of honor, gets me fired up, bro. You know.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
I was gonna say, let's get some super chats. All right. Bam. $2 super chat. Appreciate it. Ayos Omega, Joe Okada, Monty and Jamie, 2 great. God bless.
Appreciate you, Bam.
Again, Knee Goldberg versus Punk. Go Omega tonight. Yeah, man. Goldberg versus Punk. You know, I'd worry for Punk. You know, much.
I don't think he'd do it.
One awkward bump, and Punk's gonna just like disintegrate, bro. Like,
I think Joe's right though. I think Punk would legit be like, "No, I ain't doing
that shit, I'm not doing it." Those Ryback flashbacks.
Punk returning to TV, puts his bags down, sees Bill Goldberg.
He's looking at the run sheet. Like, what do you mean I'm working Bill?
And he turns to Tony and says, "Hang on, let's talk about that buyout again. let's take a step back a little bit."
Punk with his injuries these days, man. We go into that match with like it'd be like a Goldberg retirement. So it'd end up the other way around.
Yeah.
Turn to a dual retirement, man.
He's not making it through.
It'd be like this infamous match, like exactly like how the Bret Hart head kick one was, Like, it'd just be like this infamous image of fucking Punk getting crumbled by Goldberg with some form of power slam or something. God bless, Bill Gold. You just need to throw him in there with Darby, I guess,
Yeah.
Someone is gonna like dive headfirst into that fire, like. Darby's a sicko. Mavs fan, 199. Appreciate you. TK should run Goldberg versus Suzuki at Forbidden Door.
Well, hold on. Now we might be onto something here. Suzuki, that would be quite the deal. There's a non-zero chance that Goldberg would be like, "Who? What?" Just completely dismiss the idea. But again, the match graphic. It's got to be the main priority here. The funniest match graphic, that's got to be up. That's a good call.
That would be up there. What are we gonna do when Suzuki chops him a little bit too hard, and then Goldberg tries to shoot on him, and then Suzuki shoots back?
Yeah, that was what I was wondering too. Like Goldberg, assuming he could just have his way with him, and that
I can take this old man.
That would be
it would get dark really fast.
100%. Darren KG 199. Joe the Sting Green Grappler last night was great. Absolutely.
We went nearly 2 hours and 50 minutes. And then we did a 2-hour post show because we're fucking idiots. But we had a great time talking Sting, and it was topical too because he's back tonight, which we'll probably talk about at some point. I have the hat on here. But yeah, always happy to talk about Sting. So we had a hell of a time. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Lewis 199. Appreciate you very much. One of our writers, part of the Wrestle Purist universe. Jeremy's call up is better than anyone from NXT ever. Fair. It's true.
This pause on the Wrestle Purist universe was a little much. That was a little aggressive. I don't know how I feel about that being. Is that something you've decided on, or was that just sort of like an organic?
AO says, something like that, bro. He says something like that, Galaxy, universe. We gotta call him something,
Galaxies.
Yeah. There we go. Custodian talking about the Galaxy. Custodian Braun Pillman Jr., aka American Okada, 199. Custodian pins Goldberg and retires him. All that.
Brian Pillman Jr. Bill Goldberg graphic. Remember when TK was really like, "Yo, we got something with Pillman Jr. We gotta push this kid." That was such a nasty era, bro.
Never forget when they did that off-rash match.
Oh my god!
God bless him. He was hitting those ropes. He was like, "Oh my god, someone get him out of there! Like he can't be here right now."
I don't know why I thought he had a chance of winning, bro. I guess it's because the way the feud was structured. It was just MJF just shitting on him and shitting on him and shitting on him, and then shitting on his sister, then shitting on his daddy, then shitting on his mom, and it's just like, and then MJF wins.
Didn't they follow,
in a pretty awful match. Didn't
they follow Brian and Kenny too? I think they did, didn't they? Was it the second match? I think it was. It may have, but anyway, I remember it being like,
that's tough.
When you're in a room like that, when it's a big building, it looks major league, and you're out there wrestling the way he was. It was like, fuck, man, there's some mistakes have been made right here. This isn't a good call.
God bless him, though.
Yeah.
Ben Dixon, $2. Appreciate it. Goldberg kills QT. Hobbs retires Goldberg.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty logical
the Hobbs one.
What does that mean, Molly? That meant something.
You know what it is? The Hobbs idea of him putting over Hobbs and letting Hobbs retire, giving it to Hobbs. I like it. It makes sense and everything.
Do you like it? It doesn't sound like you like it.
Yeah, no, I feel.
I like the idea of it, but then we have to think about the match itself. And I like Hobbs a lot, bro. But just like I think we need a ring general out there so Goldberg doesn't expose himself. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Let Hobbs squash him. Give him the jackhammer.
I feel like there's a light bulb that's yet to go off.
With Hobbs, you mean?
No, I mean like with the potential Goldberg retiree.
At least Hobbs has got the presence for that kind of gig, man. I think I don't know. I've always been pretty bullish on Hobbs, but I think you definitely need someone who like
if
carries
Tony didn't
themselves.
fuck up Wardlow, I guess
I'd still be more in on the Hobbs direction personally, but that's
Yeah,
just
but if Tony didn't fuck up Wardlow, where would Wardlow be right now?
Still, he would still be putting me to sleep, man. Snorlo would still be something to bed at 9:30 every Wednesday night.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Like, it was just like, I don't know. I saw this shit coming, and I liked Wardlow for a while, but I saw this shit coming, and it happened. Tony did fuck it up, but Wardlow's is not innocent in this scenario.
That's where I'm at too. Yeah, like Tony absolutely made a mess of it, but at some point you do have to not even look at the talent, just him in particular. Like what was his skill set really going to do in the main
That's
event
why you
spot
had to get it right, though. It's not so much I'm not excusing anything. I'm not saying
I agree. I understand
I'm not saying
yeah.
Wardlow's far from a can't miss talent, But
I
he had this thing, I don't know what it was, but it caught on, and it kept going, and it kept going, and it kept going, and then he squashed MJF, and then he was feuding fucking Mark Sterling Security. Like,
that was crazy. TK, I think like that.
Wardlow's fucked now. I think honestly, it's a shame really because it's like I don't think he was ever necessarily at like the talent skill level to be as over as he was. It was just something that like happened, know. So it's like he had to be a momentum monster, and you had to fucking go with him, Otherwise, this is where we're at now, I don't think he's terrible or anything, but he was legit. He was legit one of the most over faces like in the business for like a couple of months. So that then obviously his momentum just got derailed, and he was always going to be a momentum merchant.
Am I going to have to take my cap off to MJF and big him up on Wardlow being that over? Is that what we're gonna have to do, bro?
He did do a hell of a job, I have to say.
He did do a good job, man. I don't like complimenting AJF, but he did. Dioga in the chat said the powerbomb lullaby. Nah, literally, bro. I was like, oh, here we go again, man.
I do think, like Rob says it in the chat, but I unironically do believe that the Joe thing was such a mistake. And I talked about this, not hindsight, because we talk about this on all the shows. Like, you can't put him with a guy that's that much fucking cooler, man. Like, it's not good for him, Like,
I think the Wardlow rub was really good initially, but when you let Joe turn heel on him, it's just like, all right. And then people gotta pick one side or the other. It's just like, why would you cheer for Wardlow? Why would I cheer for Wardlow? It's Samoa Joe. Heel Samoa Joe. Like,
I get you. Like, it could have worked if he was endorsing Wardlow. Yeah. But instead, it was like, pick. It's like, well, fine, easy. It was a mistake. That was definitely a mistake. There's been a few mistakes. So
what could have been?
I don't know. That's actually the real question. What could have been? I don't know.
Yeah, because it was a strange moment in time.
Yeah,
like the Wardlow over run.
Do you remember when his status for Double or Nothing was unclear? Some people online were fantasy booking like Wardlow should win the world title. They should put him in the fucking
I remember this is what I'm saying, bro.
And I thought it was nonsense, but it was a good amount of people saying it. Though.
You should have gone with it, man. Like, you shouldn't have won the belt, but you should have been like. If it was me, I would have just kept that shit going, bro. Once you beat MJF, you can't bring him back down, especially when you beat MJF in that manner. You can't bring him back down. I would have just kept going, bro. I would have just kept going. And if that means he ends up fight one-on-one with Kenny Omega, then he's just fucking that's how it goes, bro. Like, I think wrestling's weird, man. I think you have to capitalize on things when you have them.
No, I agree.
That makes sense. Especially with a talent like Wardlow, who, as we're seeing now, once he gets to that stage, it's like, how do you get back? Because he's not going to do it with great 5-star matches. He's not going to do it with great promos.
It's not.
What do you do?
Because like, how could he get back there? How could he get back there, bro? It's not like you said. It's never going to be. I don't think he's terrible on the mic, but he's not a crazy promo guy. He's not like a ring general or anything. It's just there's no road to get back there. What are you going to do? Put him back with MJF for another 2 years? That's not happening.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Rob said there in the comments, like, he's not dead. He needs like rehabilitation. But the thing is, like Monty said, it was such like momentum, and the MJF thing was like such a long. Like, he was with him for so long. so the moment was so big. It's like how do you possibly like recapture that again without like
Hey man,
building
maybe
something
be
that long term again. So
maybe be the best for both parties if Wardlow looks north.
Maybe, bro.
I'm
Honestly,
really serious, bro. Like, not even agendas. Like, I don't like this guy. Get him out of my favorite company. Wardlow's fine. Like, he can stay at AEW as long as he wants to. But like, maybe it'd just be best for him. Maybe it'd be best for AEW if he just.
Do you think it actually like? See, maybe I'm on my own on this, but I'm not sure that would be quite the marriage that people think it would. Like, I don't think it'd be
I don't think it would be the can't miss thing that people think it would either.
He's not charismatic enough.
That's my, and it's hard because I want to be clear. I'm not saying the guy sucks. I
even more. I'm not saying he has no charisma either. It's just he's not charismatic enough to just be an instant hit in WWE. Like people think.
I also think. How do I put this? I think his size may not quite. I think there may be some guys who he stands next to in WWE and go, "Oh fuck, he's not even bigger than." I think that could absolutely happen.
And Von Wagner towers over it.
Real, man.
If you put Wardlow next to Madcap Moss, it would open a lot of people's eyes, bro. Yeah. That's all. Like,
yeah, that's true, 100%.
But again, to be clear, for anyone who's a big Wardlow fan, I think none of us are saying like he's bad. It's that roster is loaded, and it's hard for me to look at the AEW roster and be like, yeah, Wardlow's the guy that they should be focusing on. I just don't believe that. Now, again, that doesn't mean it isn't right. It's subjective, but it's difficult. There's a lot of killers on that roster. A lot.
100%. Gonna blast through.
Someone said he would be carrying Cross with a tope.
This is spoiled.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we're gonna blast through these. Maz Fan 84 199. If Bron fights Goldberg, Scotty got a promo on him. I mean,
my god, that's good shit.
Hey man, I would like to see that.
We need that.
Yeah. I would like to see
Scotty doing a promo on NXT.
CM Punk, Brian Buster 199. Appreciate ya. CM Punk versus Goldberg for Bret Hart's legacy.
Jesus Christ. CM Punk doesn't leave that match alive.
And Dick's $5. Punk returns to confront MJF. Punk standing on the stage. MJF says, "Watch the kick." Goldberg appears and super kicks Punk.
I did see a lot of people pitching the Goldberg MJF thing. I did see
that angle right there is very like MJF. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
for better or worse. Yeah.
100%.
MJF could do his throw 5 wrestlers of doom storytelling device at him. Like, oh no, you gotta beat all these guys first. And he finally gets his hands on MJF and shit, and then I don't know, there's something there.
Yeah. Him doing that angle again and it's Goldberg would be fucking insane, wouldn't it? A different Big Bill. Goldberg comes out. It's Big Bill and it's fucking Goldberg. That'd be incredible.
Bill Goldberg, the Pro Wrestling Podcast 199, appreciate you again. Wardlow, more like Wardlow. Anyways, see.
Hey man, a lot of people are saying
it. Right, this one popped, man, so I saved it. David Michael Harwood, Dax Harwood, $4. What will make you love me, AO? What does Dax have to do?
What does Dax have to do to make me tolerate his existence? Because love will never
have to make a call.
All right, we're gonna get there. The first thing he has to do is get good at wrestling. All right, that's the number one thing. Become a good professional wrestler, Dax.
Oh, come on.
Become a good professional wrestler. That's step number 1. Number 2, you gotta call into him Purist. Friday nights at 6 p.m. Every Friday at 6 p.m. You gotta apologize to Big AO. You gotta apologize to Big Bread. You gotta apologize to Big Paragraph for being a bitch ass, broke ass nigga, Dax. All right, and then maybe I'll consider tolerating your existence. Or I'm gonna get my niggas that like niggas. Shout out to Sonny Kiss. You feel me? To pay you a visit. All right, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man.
It was good stuff.
Dwayne, $4.99 super chat. I'm stronger than Superman and drive faster than
Yo, The Rock was my first ever favorite wrestler, and just to find out how he's like devolved into like a libertarian Republican like freakazoid in Hollywood, it's been crazy, bro. Like I go back and I watch his old promos, it's just like, what happened to this guy, bro? Like Hollywood changes people, man. Don't move there.
He's brought the wrestling politics into Hollywood. He's
he's
I'm
a
not putting
complete
shit.
carny
He's not putting Shazam
freakazoid.
over.
That's crazy,
He's not
Jamie.
doing the job to Shazam.
Like, he has it in his contracts that he cannot get kicked or punched more than he kicks or punches other people, bro. Like, he has to stand tall at the end of every action scene. Like, this is like, come on, bro. Like,
That's beast.
while being the good guy.
It is kind of beast. Yeah, you're right, man.
He signed up to be a Shazam villain 10 years ago, mind you. He signed up to do this in like 2012, 2013. The movie finally comes around after being in developmental hell. And he's like, you know what? Shazam cannot be in this movie. I want Superman. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here? It's like,
Good shit. Yeah. Good shit.
what a beast.
It's
bro.
good shit when it's good shit when it's films and I'm not watching. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah, man. Shout out Dwayne. What should we move next to? Let's actually talk about Dynamite, man. Obviously, the big thing tonight is Kenny Omega versus Vikingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The ceiling on this one's obviously going to be like, this could be a really special Dynamite match. You know, it probably will be, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time you kind of have a little bit of reservation about, you know, going over the top with expectations, but it's like, you know, Vikingo's going to go out there and do shit people have never seen before.
He's going to get all his shit in, bro.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, and you know that audience is going to react a certain way to it. Like, we saw a little bit of it with Commander in the ladder match, you know? Like, they fucking came up for him, bro. Like, Vikingo's going to... then because Vikingo, like... You know, it's like... I know he's kind of like the more typical cliche choice for the people kind of like in the know of like the best high flyer and that. But like, a lot of people mention Commander as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one thing that Vikingo definitely has over him is his kind of like uniqueness.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of like does shit,
He jumps
you know,
off the page. Yeah.
and he spins
That
and he
you've
flips
never
and
seen
he,
before, bro. That 450 Poison Rana is like, who's ever done that before? Like, he's invented that, right? Like, and then the Springboard 630, he's probably invented that too. But it's like everything that Commander did. Commander went out there, he absolutely killed it. But you know, like, Vikingo's just a bigger name off top, and he does like more unique things and shit. And they came alive for all of Commander's offense, so they're gonna. Hopefully, we got a great crowd tonight that's gonna eat up everything Vikingo does.
I think they will. I honestly do. I think, regardless of their investment going in, he's so spectacular that, you know, for the reasons we all just went through there, it's like, even if they're not interested to begin with, he has the advantage of he's wrestling Kenny, so there's always going to be a certain amount of heat for that match anyway, right? But then when they see him do like one thing, I'm with you, Monty, in terms of, you know, you're always hesitant to be hyperbolic about TV, but it's like, you know, the ceiling for this is like one of the great Dynamite matches ever, and that's saying something. I know that's, but serious. I mean, Kenny hasn't wrestled a singles match on Dynamite for how long are we looking? I mean, it's been a while, right?
Last November 2022, I believe, or October 2022.
Right. So it's like, there's, I mean, on both sides, right? Kenny's gonna be so super motivated too. Like, this could be spectacular. I mean, I think it will be spectacular. It's more just how great does it end up reaching? It'd be very, very fun to see.
Oh, I mean 2021. What the fuck am I saying?
Right. Yeah, because he didn't. He was just trios when he came back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which obviously, as we saw in the Ospreay match, is not. That was not a case of he couldn't. It was just what they were doing at that time, because that was one of his best performances in years. So, yeah, it's gonna be pretty special, I think, fellas.
Yeah, 100%. Jamie, where are you at with El Helio del Vikingo?
Yeah, man. Like you said, we've seen the reactions to like the Commanders and Bandidos and stuff like that. These lucha guys, and then but Vikingo, man, he just does like you said, just shit you've never seen before from anyone. Like, so I can't see it. Like, I can't see the AEW crowd not like loving him instantly. And then Kenny Omega, you know, finally back to some singles action, which I was hoping we get a bit sooner, because obviously he's got that IWGP US Championship that we've not really seen him, you know, do anything with since winning it. We obviously got Jeff Cobb coming in.
Hey, Cobb set a date for when he's gonna come to Dynamite. If he was telling the truth or bullshit, we'll see. He said the St. Louis show, which I don't know when that is, but
it's next
about
week,
a week
right?
or two, isn't it? It's
next week.
I think it's next
See you
week.
next week, Cobb.
Could be wrong on that, but I think so. Yeah.
The
That'd
first
be
ever
fun.
3-peat wrestler of the week, wrestler of the week, Kenny Omega. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Let's get it done.
But yeah, man, Vikingo. The only thing that ever's worried me about not Vikingo matches gets completely eradicated when he's in there with Kenny Omega. You know, so it's like
What, that the opponent can't keep up with his offense?
no, and just like it's because he's so weird. Like sometimes he can be a little what's the word, over ambitious sometimes. Yeah. And like obviously he's not like the super polished technician, so the stuff in between can be a little, you know.
Right.
He's like you throw Kenny Omega into the mix. So,
They're solved.
If you want to see worst case scenario of a Vikingo match, go watch that Gringo Local disaster class in GCW. That shit was fucking awful. Jesus Christ.
I was pumping my fist at that because of how like because it was just so messy indie shit, but Vikingo was still Vikingo in it somehow.
Yeah.
He was doing shit you don't see anyone else do, and he was taking some just absurd bumps in this match.
It's like, come on, bro.
He was just like diving out to the floor and shit, and just taking back bumps, and he's an animal. That's one thing. Another thing with Vikingo, like he's just so ballsy, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's like he don't even think about potentially like landing on his neck, you know, or anything like that. Like he just throws himself into the fire, bro.
Wonder how much time they get tonight. What do you think?
Gotta give
What do we
him 20.
reckon?
I'd give him 20. Just let Kenny cook, you know.
How many matches are booked tonight? Have they got 5 or 6 tonight?
We've got okay. I've only got a graphic. I don't know if I've got the actual rundown, but we've got Kenny Vikingo, Moxley Stu. We got the Sting tag.
Yep.
Hook Stokely. Tony. Is this what I mean? Then you got like Tony Storm versus Sky Blue. Like, why? You know, it's just. Anyway,
you gotta let the women work, brother. Oh, while he's looking, can everybody do us a favor, like the video, subscribe, keep the super chats coming in. We appreciate it all. Thank you.
Tag title match with the Guns and Top Flight.
They have 6, but one is Stoke, right? So they should have time. I mean, even the Guns Top Flight match is probably getting like 10, probably.
It's gonna get 10ish, but it's gonna be an angle FTR after the match.
Tony Sky Blue should just be an angle, really.
Misogyny?
He's just like, you know.
Once he's not trying to see any women's matches on that,
man.
Listen, not that.
Are you sure?
Scott Blue's gotten a lot better lately, though. I do have to give her props. As someone who has completely shitted on this woman being on my television screen in the past, she's gotten a lot better.
I mean, I guess they want Tony to win on TV, right? It feels like last time a few times we've seen it, she's lost.
Why? You know.
The fans. What do you mean why?
You gotta make the outcasts look like you gotta make them look like real threats, brother.
Bobby in Sky Blue.
Have you heard the minute by minutes are very encouraging regarding the outcasts? I know you're a big rate.
Soraya.
Well, what group is Soraya in, Monty? I'm sorry.
It's different. It's different when she's just flanking someone and just. You know what it is? I just can't. I'm just so done with this. Shitty match happens or someone cuts a promo and then they come out and the brawl and it's just like okay. This is why I say I hope it's just an angle so they actually do an actual creative good angle with it somehow.
Yes, I understand. Good luck.
But it's not even like I'll get this women's match off. It's like just something else, bro. Like give me a different. Like, I don't know. Give me something to give Jade like a real fucking something. I don't know. You know
who?
I don't know, bro. I'm not the booker. I don't get paid.
I'm with you, man. But like sometimes the Jade, it's like I'm like, why is Jade not got a program? And I like look at the roster and I'm like, well,
that's why.
Yeah. When's Chris back? Chris
it should be around this April, May.
Because that's always seemed like the one, right? To eventually.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They have a real opportunity to tell a great story with Orlo.
This is a violent attack right now by Darren Walker, who I thought was a good friend of mine. Monty must £5 super chat. Monty must be happy Kip Sabian's wrestling in a 6-man tag tonight, brother.
I forgot he was booked, man.
Brother, just
it's Sting, man. You know,
Thank God for Sting.
That
Thank
makes it
God for Sting.
worse.
No, it doesn't. It's Sting. They can put anyone opposite Sting. It's Pop. It's Sting. Come on.
Yeah, it's anyone else, bro. Just I can't. Why?
Anyone else?
Kit, man, you had the right idea with the DDT excursion. You know, just make it last a couple of years next time. So instead of a match or two, do a year or two. You feel me?
I do like the kind of the running bit of AEW that the Butcher and the Blade just like bounce from one heel to another as they're like backup. I don't even know when did they set the kit? Did they even explain the kit thing? I may have missed it. I genuinely may.
It was some Rampage angle, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Was that APA?
Because I know they've been with him the last few months, yeah. Or I guess before Kit went away, but yeah.
No, they really. I mean, that's what they were pushing them as.
Yeah.
They were like the hired guns, hired mercenaries and shit. The Butcher and the Blade are. You could pay them off, they'll join you and shit. So
yep.
They don't really hammer that point home anymore, but that's how they came in as.
I do like it as like an identity for them. I think it is fun. It's just
there's definitely place for it on the roster.
Completely, yeah.
100%. Darren Walker, £4 again. Appreciate it. I think Omega versus Alan Angels was Omega's last singles match on Dynamite.
My God.
Jesus, that sounds about right, actually.
So that was before so that was like the last TV match for the Full Gear match, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yuzura
Hart, $5. Appreciate it. I need people to start putting Derby clips under Chicago Phil's.
As soon as we can reply with video clips on Instagram, I'm on it, bro. I'm on it. You see, wrestlers are scared now, bro. Sean Spears tried it, bro. He tried to do the whole I'm Fed bound, baby. The Fed wants me back, and everybody just started spamming him with Darby clips and quotes, and then he locked the comments. Then he started hiding the comments and shit. It was
it's ugly when they start hiding the comments. Yeah.
I was intrigued to go back and look at what happened on this Dynamite when Kenny wrestled Alan Angels. This was the show that featured Andrade versus Cody Rhodes. It also was when Kalisto came in and like that bizarre ordeal happened where he did a tweet and everyone got mad.
That was so weird, man.
Miro versus Orange Cassidy was the main event. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but that was the main event. Things have changed, I think it's fair to say, since Kenny Omega's last singles match on Dynamite. So.
I actually don't remember that Miro and Orange Cassidy match.
I think it was when he took Mox's place in the tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, because Mox was supposed to work Orange, right? I think in the semifinal. So
yeah, and that's when Mox was doing his whole heel turn. He just killed 10.
Yes.
And shit, and then he had to. He went and he got help. Shout out to him for doing that.
Absolutely. But yeah, lots have changed.
What else are you going to pick out? Talking Moxley, Stu.
Yeah, that'd be good. Very good.
Speaking of Miro, I think Miro's someone who could come back and be as hot as they ever were if they get a good angle and get a good story and shit. I don't think he has a Wardlow problem because Miro could actually talk and work. So
yeah.
Even though he's kind of a freak sometimes, give him something to do, TK. What's going on?
Yeah, I agree. It's always hard because it's like
it's hard to get works for him, bro.
Well, it's hard because you don't know what the back and forth is, right? We don't know if it was one pitch and that's the end of their contact, or he's pitching him regularly and Miro's like, "I'm cool." So it's hard to. But as a fan, like I absolutely would like to see him back on the show. I think he added a lot to the show. So, yeah, it's a tough one. I don't really know what the situation is there at this point, honestly. I don't know if we're because has there been an update in terms of if there's regular contact there, or is it just like a freezer?
Well, there's not much out there, but there's rumblings, and it's like he
rumblings.
He's at least the talent believe that he's a bit. Stuff has been pitched to him, and he hasn't liked the sound of it.
Yeah.
So
the rumor was Paige, right? But I didn't know whether they meant like Ethan or Adam.
Big difference.
You
get a text from Tony Khan and you put over Paige. You need to figure out who the fuck he's talking about before you say yes or no.
Because he was apparently doing the job right, and I was like, if that's Ethan Page, I'd say no too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think the idea was that he wanted to, regardless of whether it was Ethan or Adam Page, he wants to come back with a win. He thinks he's been away for a while, that he should come back and get some, get some.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That Ethan Page tournament run
insane.
Was what Bro, it did not help Ethan Page at all. He's still like dicking around on Dark with Matt Hardy and shit. Like he beat Bandito, he beat Takesha, was it? Then he was gonna beat Miro. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
like,
they rotated him straight back to the role he was in before. It was like, what was that? Who was that for? You know,
like, come
bizarre.
on, man. Like,
yeah, I don't know, strange one. Yeah, because he beat Kingston. That was the quarterfinal match. Remember he beat Eddie?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was one of those moments you kind of realize, like, this Eddie thing is not quite where it was. You know, that was like as a fan when I was kind of like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure this is trending in the right direction. But
Maybe TK like gave him an opportunity. He's like, hey man, we're gonna throw these 3 over baby faces at you. Get over. And maybe he didn't get over, and TK was like, all right, it's back to Dark with you, my boy. Maybe that's the situation. I don't know, but you know, all those names in that tournament just to end with Ricky Starks versus Ethan Page was
what was the
pretty
best
curious
match?
booking.
he would have
Best
liked
match
Ricky
in that
if he didn't
tournament.
have all that momentum. I think genuinely. Like if Ricky wasn't kind of already a darling with the live crowds and stuff,
Yeah.
and people liked him as much as they did, especially at that point there.
Honestly,
Throwing him in there with Ethan for the final was like, you know,
it was the
it
MJF
made it
promo.
feel.
Man. That was what actually got Ricky
100%.
rolling. The tournament, he had the match with Archer, Cage, and then Ethan, and they were all like, he had all the tape and stuff, and it was kind of like just there. The promo was what got him really rolling and like feeling like a top guy after that. But that tournament was, I mean, I think people have quite fairly said like he's not quite brave enough sometimes with those tournament brackets. That one was like, come on, man. Like, the roster's too good for this.
It's
to
not
be
quite.
women.
Joe's too polite, bro. Fuck it out.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, not
TK
quite,
is so scared
not
of beating
quite
people,
brave
bro.
enough with his tournament. Bro.
Like he doesn't want to beat people. He doesn't want people to get beat. It's like, and then people like cry about WWE's like distraction losses and the
But people were
dick
crying because
punches
Johnny
and shit, but it's
Gargano
just
lost
like-
to Dominic Mysterio on Monday. I couldn't deal with it, bro.
The reason I say
it made
not
sense. Why would Gargano beat Dominic Mysterio now? If anyone who's watched WWE the past couple months, why would that happen right
I
now?
don't know. But
I
the
don't
reason
know.
I say
For what?
not quite,
Right.
Monty, is
But then
because...
but my reaction as someone who doesn't watch WWE but is familiar with Gargano's work, is familiar with Dom's work, I would say if Gargano can't win there and Dom's like a shitter who's not on Gargano's level, why book the match? You know
Yeah,
what
that's
I'm
the
saying?
actual answer, yeah.
Let's get him on TV, ain't it?
I always, like, genuinely, though, is where the reason is, like, I never want to go too hard on that stuff because we did just have a conversation about Miro, like, turning down doing a job.
Yeah.
That is a real, like, genuinely, it is a real thing in terms of he could be more aggressive if he's booking, no doubt. There are a lot of guys who ain't looking to lay down on TV every week on Dynamite, though, you know? Like, it's a real thing, and that's why it's always, you know, it's like, I can comment on it from the outside looking in, but I'd imagine those tournaments are a headache on that front because I mean, some of the guys we don't see wrestle a lot. My assumption is because Tony's not too confident he can get them to do business all that often.
I feel like Tony is too easy to say no to, maybe. You know?
Yeah, because
But then we see the same thing. It's the same thing with like everybody who's like not Vince McMahon for like the last 20 years. Because even Triple H, Bobby told Triple H to do a job for Bray, and Bobby told Triple H, "No, I'm not jobbing for Bray," and that's the end of it. No Mania match.
My thing
absolutely.
with tournaments, I feel like it's kind of cliche, but kind of like the go-to is like the G1. And it's just like...
yeah, but it's a different culture though, isn't it? You know, it's like it's so hard. I'm with you, but it's so like part of the way that's presented is, you know, anyone can beat anyone, and it's like it's a tournament, it's a sports feel. American wrestling, as you just said, like anyone does a clean job and everyone shits themselves. No one knows what to do with it. You know, it's like it's just
Oh my
it's
god,
true,
they're
man.
buried.
Yeah, like it's a different. I mean, we literally just did it on this show when we talked about Eddie losing to Ethan Page.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like they're so different in format. I'm with you, Monty. In an ideal world, that'd be great, and I still think he could do a much better job. So I'm not even defending it. I'm
Yeah,
just
but Ethan
saying,
Page isn't a big star.
right? But you've
We're
in the
talking
G1,
we're talking big star versus big star. Do you know what I mean?
in the G1, big names drop matches to like underneath guys all the
Yeah,
time.
they do because the bracket's so big, I guess. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but
And,
it's
and
also
they'll
the
do it,
fans
and it's
using
always
it.
for a reason.
You got
it's always
Tori
like-
Yano out there regularly winning matches. And
When
shit.
someone like a Tanner or a Okada drops a match to a Sonata or a Finlay, he gets talked about for fucking 5 years. You know.
Yeah.
Yes, no, you're right. I do think the
it's,
fans sees it differently too, though. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, they do. It's like you said. First thing you said was like it's just different cultures, and it is 100%. But it's going back to kind of like Miro again. It's like if it was Hangman Adam Page that he was meant to job to, it's like if you're Tony, push that through, bro. Like there's no good reason why Miro. Yeah, like there's no good reason why Miro can't put over Hangman Adam Page. You know, he's not, and it's even different to someone like Brock. You know, like Brock is like one of the biggest stars in the business. Fucking, he's literally Brock Lesnar. So like, you know, it's I guess especially if you want to kind of like lean on Brock's side, you can kind of, you know, make excuses for yourself with it, you know. But like with like, especially a lot of the AEW, like they don't have a Brock Lesnar. Like no one has a Brock Lesnar. He's Brock Lesnar. Like it's But again, when it comes to like Amira versus Hangman Adam Page, like bro, one of you second the fall. Like, and it's just like it's not going to hurt you because Hangman Adam Page, guess what? He's a fucking former world champion. He's beat Kenny Omega. He's done this. He's done that.
So it's hard to speak on this again with too much detail because we only know a little bit of the story. But I do think there was a lot. You could read a lot into what Miro tweeted when Dave initially reported the story. You know, when he was like, "What about from May to whatever he said?" You know, because I think what he was suggesting there was the reason he had an issue doing certain business that Tony wanted him to do was because he felt like he'd been waiting on the sidelines already. Yeah. You know,
and then he was coming back just to get beat.
Right, and we heard he was ready to come back a while before he came back and wrestled Johnny Elite in LA, remember? Because we kept hearing the TV show thing went on for years, but we had
he was filming a movie for 85 months. Like,
so, I think a lot of it was he came back on a delay already, and then he was put into that feud with where he was alongside Sting and Darby. That was very kind of like there were some cool visuals, but they didn't really know what they were doing with that, right?
Yeah,
like,
that was a mess. That was a mess.
Yeah, so I think at that point, part of the reason why he may have said no, it isn't because he didn't want to lose to a Hangman Page or whoever it may be. It's more that it's not without context, right? It's like, well, hold on a second. I've been sitting here waiting for something good, and the idea is I lose the same tournament I lost last year. So there's a lot of moving pieces, is what I'm saying. It's not necessarily just
everything's case by case, of course, of course.
It is a real issue because it's just like you don't want to like get slotted into the Lance Archer role.
Yeah,
where it's just like, oh, you're a big scary guy, big monster is gonna do a job. It's just nobody really takes Archer seriously anymore. It's just like maybe you should have won a couple of them.
So do we think Steve Grayson's going to beat John Moxley?
No.
Could be a really good match, though. Really good. I think an interesting one tonight. I think that it would be very beneficial for all involved for the Guns to have a really good showing tonight.
Do you
think they're capable of that, Joe?
This is the thing. Honestly, no. And that's why I really like to see it because everyone has good things to say about them in terms of like their peers and such, and even FTR in their promos like they're the future of the division. And I would love to say I've seen it, but I have not seen it at all thus far. I mean,
man,
they're very to me they're very rough around the edges. I don't know, man.
Even when I try to squint my eyes,
really.
All I can get out of it is Austin's all right.
Yeah,
they've got some good shtick, but as their work is so loose, like I don't know. I would really like to come out tonight's match and be like, yeah, man, maybe they are belonging in that spot. I'm not convinced.
It'll probably be the other team that are in the match.
The fight have been spectacular as
well. Bro, I don't even think Top Flight's gonna have a good showing because I think it's gonna be like all heat segments. I think the Guns are gonna work Dante's knee or whatever. They're gonna ground Top Flight and shit. It's just gonna be long and boring, and then FTR music hits, and then they cut their promo, and then we get out of there.
I'm hoping Top Flight get the. I think it would be really fun if Top Flight, had the chance to have the Ring of Honor division built around them. Yeah, ultimately, you want them on AEW TV. I think that'd be really good for their development. To actually be the centerpiece of a division.
Dante killed it last week,
match yet?
Go ahead,
Jeremy.
Do we know who's in this ladder match yet? That
only Luke, I think.
Do we not have anyone else?
I don't think so. No. I mean, I assume they'll be in it. I think they'll be in it. Aussie Open will probably be in it.
Yeah.
Kingdom?
The Kingdom, yeah, that'll probably be the 14.
Hey, right? Man. Bucks, if Mark makes that call, y'all better pick up Bucks.
That's what I said, bro. I was like, "Fuck it, man. Just fucking." It's not like they have to eat a pin or anything. Just throw the
Yeah.
bucks in there, just for
Yeah.
the vibes. Like, just fucking.
Vibes, bro. I know they're big on spending time with their family nowadays and shit. That, good for them. But come work Mania weekend one last time.
That'd be fun. That would definitely be fun. Yeah. That's even more star power.
They're local to it too. They're right in SoCal, so just have Brandon Color drive y'all up.
Couple Ethan Page super chats. Showtime Spurs $5. Appreciate it. I think Ethan's push was dependent on the firm being a part of MJF Punk. Once that became impossible, they became mid-carders. I honestly think that even if it went how it was supposed to, like Stokely went on a podcast and said, like, yo, we was meant to do this whole thing with Punk, and obviously it all fell apart, like Showtime references in his super chat. But I still just, even in the build, in the build to All Out was it All Out the build to All Out in the Moxley feud? No, not the
Full Gear.
It's just. It just wasn't. Somewhat just weren't right,
It's just not.
It's just there's just something not right about it, bro.
I was told that Punk didn't want to be there, and he felt like his foot wasn't healed yet properly, and he was pissed at Tony for like kind of cornering him to come back. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what I was told. Which would be one of the least freakish things that Punk has ever been mad about. So I can't. If he didn't feel like he was ready to come back, that's an athlete's right. But fuck that guy.
The thing that pops me about the firm is that they had that promo where they all made their intentions clear. Like, I'm gonna go for this belt, and the Guns actually did it. They actually won the tag belts, and they're like not. Like, Stokely's not with the Guns. He just stayed with all the guys who lost. You know, like the guys who actually won, he's not around them at all. It's a really, it was one of those facts. And again, this is not like hindsight. I think we all, when we saw the facts, our initial reaction was like, they're a little light, like, I mean. I think Ethan will be good as a second. It's just, he was being presented as the centerpiece of the act. And again, that's where the Max thing obviously is relevant. That's why I get the comment completely. Yeah, when it was just Ethan as the lead guy, I was like, this act has got a very clear ceiling, unfortunately. So,
bam, $2. Appreciate it. I like Ethan because he does everything asked of him. I mean, I think Ethan is actually he's pretty decent.
Yeah, I think he's a pro. I think he's a professional. I think he's
absolutely,
pro.
Yeah.
I just think he could get over pushed at times and overexposed.
Yeah, it's the same thing with our conclusion with Wardlow, where it's like none of us think he's bad. Ethan, I like Ethan quite a bit. It's just that roster is loaded, and it's like I don't think Ethan's a main event heel on that roster. Doesn't mean he isn't any good. It just means that roster is stacked. So, yeah. It's more a matter of the people around him, honestly.
Speaking of the firm, we've got Hook versus Stokely Hathaway
fun
for the FTW Championship tonight. Oh, God bless. That's all I have to say, really.
Did you see the Stoke training vignette they did?
Yes. I didn't actually get to it.
It was hilarious, bro. It was hilarious. They already did something similar with who was it? Danhausen, I think. But this one was so much funnier to me because Stoke's actually funny, unlike the clown. But I think it'll be a good bit of business, bro. It's non-DQ, so the firm can interfere as much as they want. So there might be some real wrestling going on and shit. Good bit of business.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it could be some. It feels like it could be a real shenanigans here in terms of the finish. Like, I don't think they're gonna do it. But,
Stoke running around as FTW champion would be hilarious, bro.
And we just had the conversation about Stokely needing like a lead client. If ever there was a place to debut a guy, could you imagine the heat someone would get if they fucking cost Hook his undefeated and that belt, and Stoke has the fucking Stoke doing like championship photo shoots for the FTW title, and
who's available?
Goldberg.
Goldberg just runs in and spears Hook in half.
I don't know who the guy for the job is. But traditionally, when you get to this point in the feud, bro, it's like they've got their hands on the manager. usually you give the audience just enough of the guy getting his comeuppance, but the manager has like one trick up his sleeve that that gets the people back.
Yeah.
Beats
That doesn't
also
necessarily-
Tony Khan.
I think they'll probably just do a comedy match and Hook will win. Yeah, but I'm just I'm just saying that theoretically
Stokey gets the shit kicked out of him and they just go
Look,
over.
man. I'm just saying, look, I went in exactly the direction I was headed, which is Stokely with that belt is fucking incredible. Like him doing like his own version of Taz's old promos would be
That would probably be huge, bro.
Could you imagine?
I've been watching a lot of ECW TV, hardcore TV recently. And shit. Them spoofing that would be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, quick question: who is Lily Pons saying she turned down a $20 million contract from the WWE? Who is this?
She's like a Twitch streamer or some shit, I think. I don't know, man.
She's from Vine when that was a thing.
So she's not even relevant anymore because
though.
Vine hasn't been relevant in.
Yes, it was the first I'd heard of her in years.
Jesus Christ!
don't know.
All right, God bless her. Good for her. I hope she signs that contract. 20 million, big one.
God bless, man. What money did I think going around? Like, Bam, $2, appreciate ya. He says, I meant that Ethan went from main event levelish to lower card without complaining and giving his best with what's given to him, unlike certain guys.
I know 100%. A lot of people, in Ethan Page's shoes would cry a lot because I remember when he main evented. He had that coffin match with Darby Allin. People loved that match, and it did a really good quarter hour. It did over 1 million, and some other people they would do that, and they would get thrown back to dark, and they would just cry on Twitter the whole time. Ethan didn't do that, so shout out to him for being a pro.
Ben Dixon, $2. Hopefully Hook versus Stoker's Goldberg Raven vibes. Throwback. If you know, you know.
You guys see that Ravens tying his boots back up?
Oh, brother.
He looks so bad in the picture, bro. I forget what Fed it is, but he's like around like 55ish. He looks like 75 in the promo picture, bro. Like this is it's MLW, bro. Court, you will fail for this, bro. Don't do this.
MLW doing a Raven run?
Yeah, man. He looks beyond rough. It's bad.
I mean, he was when they did the EV 2.0 shit. He was like way gone then. That was fucking 13 years ago, bro. It's time. It's been time, but is what it is. God bless him.
So that's tough. Darren Walker, £5 super shot. Jeff Jarrett wax Hook with the guitar. JoJo versus Hook with Big Gold. Oh man, JoJo needs to,
Jarrett Hook would be.
Hey man, Jarrett's good TV. Keep him on there as long as you can.
Jarrett Hook would be pretty fun. Yeah, I'm with that.
Hook knows on a guitar shot.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, Real Braps.
Okay, what else?
Just moving his hair over.
Adam Cole's. We'll hear from Adam Cole. Do you think this is going to be like an in-ring promo, or do you think it's going to be just like a fucking backstage 1 minute?
Hopefully it's in-ring.
We've
been getting enough of those backstage 1 minute things on Rampage.
Who do we think his opponent is for next week?
It's been a while, right, since he actually came back. Is it the case that he's like he wasn't ready? They just brought him back a little bit ahead.
There's definitely
because
some have suggested that they knew they needed something for LA, and it was like, well,
yeah,
maybe we hit the Bay Bay music.
Bring Bay back.
I remember the hype when he was back, and it was like a bit of a babyface promo. Like some people were saying, like he's the next like world champion, like could be MJF, and I was just like, I don't know, I can't forget about him a little bit.
Not even really sure I want him as a babyface still, even with that promo. But I'm a big Adam Cole guy. I know Monty's not. I don't know how Joe feels about him, but I can assume as a Brit, I can assume how he feels. I love Adam Cole, bro. I love Adam Cole. I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna do next week.
It'll be interesting.
It's gonna do better than whatever Dax does. So.
Well, it's not carrying
Shout out to Bebe for giving Dax his best singles match in AEW as well.
He was in the top 5.
Bless them with that one.
That match was awesome, though.
Baby was just out there tuning up the fucking band, man.
That match was killer.
Oh my god, what a match!
Who are we, Monty? What are we thinking? JB, what are you thinking on the opponent? 'Cause I have no idea. I don't know if you do, but I have no clue.
I originally thought before like we knew when he was going to have his match and stuff. When people thought it might have been at Revolution, that was when I considered it being Jay White. But now that ship sailed, and I don't see him. I don't see it being Jay White if it's not. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I still think he's Fed bound.
Yeah,
Goldberg.
Me too. Goldberg would be hilarious. Come back from a concussion. Here you go. It's Big Bill.
Fuck, I don't know, bro.
I have no idea.
What about Coyle?
I don't think Cole's ready, is he?
I don't think Kyle's
Wait,
ready
how long
either.
ago was his surgery?
It hasn't
feels
been
like
years.
ages ago.
People were saying when that went down, people were saying Cole was gonna be out for like a year.
He had his neck fused, bro. It's a year.
It's a year, and he was wrestling in. When did he last wrestle? July, June last year, right?
I think July-ish.
Yeah. So yeah, I think.
I
It's
don't
Cole.
know, man.
Also, Cole was the man. I'd love to see him back, but like going to meet him back to Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly is insane behavior.
It's Rod Strong, bro.
Rod Strong would be
Look, man,
I would love that.
do not mess around with me. I'm Roderick Strong. Too,
I
right?
would love
You're not. I would become a monster on these programs if that was the case.
that.
People don't know. I'm telling you, if he got in front of people on Dynamite, we would all see tweets of people being like, "Wait, Roderick Strong's this good," and it would make me so fucking mad that people have just discovered this as he's like 40 years. He's a killer, man.
He's been carrying those D2 football players and failed track runners and shit. And people forget, man. People forget.
They do. You get him in there on
Get the
TBS
glory
against
days on
Dragon.
ROH.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. People know Roddy's good. Don't worry, I'm not saying he's like, but they don't know how fucking good that guy is. He's like freakishly good. But yeah,
He's an animal.
he is.
Jose Mourinho, $5 super chat. Appreciate it. Adam Cole is wrestling heritage, hard worker, unlike Luke Shaw. Fuck.
Tremendous concept.
Okay. What else have we got here for Dynamite? I think we've pretty much completed it.
Yeah, we're pros, mate.
Look at that. There's 5 minutes to Dynamite.
5
We've
minutes.
talked about Big Bill.
Yeah.
We've talked about Dynamite. Man, what else can we throw in there?
Real podcast. Like the video if you haven't yet, please.
Yeah, man, get lost in that video. Dax Harwood made his comments as which Jo brought up at the start. Very spiteful stuff.
What a freak.
Friend
of the program. What a fucking freak.
Dax admitted that he's got. Look at this. Dax admitted that he's got heat for several podcasts that he's done. No shit.
Because you're being weird, bro. That MJF tweet, that MJF quote that he made, it's just like, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing here? Yeah. And like, I didn't even. There's a worse MJF quote that hasn't gotten out yet, and it was basically like Matt racist last name, his podcast co-host. He asked him, he was like, "Oh, everybody thinks that MJF's like a huge fan of the territories. Like, what do you make of that? Like, have you ever seen that? Like, is that true?" And Dax probably was basically like, "Huh. These kids think they like the territories, but no, they don't. They don't. It's like they watch some Flair. That's it. Like they don't know how to work. He's like, I'm not saying I'm talking about MJF, but I was asked the question about specifically MJF, and I went on this diatribe about how kids don't know their history and don't know anything and think they know everything and don't actually know shit about shit. But I'm not talking about MJF. Wink, wink. Like, come on, bro. Like."
He's an animal on there. He says that he speaks to CM Punk almost daily. Hold on, what else have we got here?
Yeah, Nigel did a tweet.
Nigel coming back.
Yeah,
What's
that's what
Nigel
Manny
saying?
He said like exciting news coming for me, something like that.
Oh,
Stay
yeah.
tuned.
Oh,
Did one of
yeah.
those.
Nigel Cole next week? Is that what the streets want?
My God.
Imagine
That would be
Manny's
something, wouldn't
reaction
it?
on Monday after Nigel has to lay down for Cole.
Adam Cole coming out and being like, my way of returning from concussion is that I will wrestle Nigel McGuinness in his first match in 10
Real
years.
brat.
Let's do it.
Right,
Let's do it.
this is what we're going to end the podcast with.
All
All
right,
right.
we get
Izora Hart, $2 super chat says, Fish is washed. Can you rank Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roddy?
Of course. I got
Come on,
Bebe way up here, at the top, S tier for the real promos, for the real stars, for the real workers out there. Monty and Joe agree with me. And I got Kyle O'Reilly as a nice, B plus player, and I got Roddy as a B. Just because Roddy can be a bit of a charisma vacuum when he's not standing next to Cole or the Bucks and Steen, but I don't know. I like all three of them in the ring a lot. I like all three of them as wrestlers a lot. Should have got the UE.
I'd go.
bits aside, the star power. Like if you're doing an overall package, Cole is clearly like the number one guy overall. In ring, I think I would actually have him third in ring. That's not anything he's bad, but like Kyle and Roddy are fucking incredible workers,
In ring, I got Roddy number one in ring.
Yeah.
In ring, I have Roddy like far above Kyle as well.
I do too.
Yo, the Kyle. I didn't want to offend the Kyle merchants just because I don't want to argue with them and shit. But it's just like he is a very good wrestler, but thinking that he should be like upper mid card to main event just off his work alone, I don't think his work is even there.
Yeah.
For all that
in AEW.
In AEW
because the bar's so high, But
he's very good. Cole's number one in terms of overall package.
I like all three of them a lot.
Freaking ring, man.
Yeah,
Roddy's a monster. Roddy's a monster. He's not even allowed to wrestle no more, bro.
He's an animal. Okay. Listen, bro, we need him in AEW, let's be honest, It's
him wrestling, to be honest with you, mate.
He really got carnage into signing an extension, bro. Like,
yeah.
I'd have Roddy top, Cole, then O'Reilly.
Oh my God.
I like Cole's work more than O'Reilly too. As well.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do. I was flipping tables when Kyle beat Darby.
I
was pissed.
You
should have seen. I was punching the air. I was punching the air when Kyle beat Phoenix. Bro, like I was losing my composure, bro.
It's tremendous.
I was gonna be spiteful, but
you was gonna ask me what I like about Cole. I like everything about Cole, bro.
No. It was about Cole, but it wasn't exactly that. It was, Anyway.
On that note,
again, we love all three of them.
Yeah, they're all beats,
Anyway, it's
get those likes
7:59.
up, man. Let's get those.
Yeah, like the video. We had a good house, man. Over 150 people in the majority of the podcast.
Yeah, man. Obviously, we'll be back tomorrow with our Dynamite review. Hopefully, it's a good one. I'm sure it will be. Hopefully, Kenny Vikingo's fucking generational. I'm sure it will be. Again, please like this video. We've appreciated all the super chats. Please subscribe if you haven't already. This has been Wrestle Purist Live. This don't have a name. Follow at Jamie Ross.
Follow Jamie, man. It's fucked up.
Follow Joe.
Y'all don't be following him.
Follow Big AO, King AO, turn his notifications on, all that good shit.
All that shit.
Because you don't even tweet that much. So it's like if someone turns the notifications on, like they're only gonna see like your crazy tweet.
It's great content.
Good content, man. But yeah, everyone enjoy Dynamite. That's what we're about to do. Appreciate you all as always, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.